Yes, I will agree. Many people have accused me of being an eternal optimist. I am. But being that, I am also a realist. I understand that life can be very hard sometimes. It can be very difficult. What do you do when it seems that you're dreaming and your dreams are dissipating and it seems that you have more space than you do resources? Well, you stay focused. You need to know that you are created for God's glory and you're created for kingdom purpose here on earth. God is not toying with your emotions. God is not toying with your dreams. God is not toying with you. All that you're going through is to make you better and not bitter. My guest today, Katie Ginn, is the epitome of staying focused on what God has called you to do. And when you do, wonderful things happen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, thank you for joining me today. Listen, I've said this many times and probably say it every other program, but there are some programs that I just absolutely enjoy my guests. I enjoy all of my guests. I don't want to get in trouble, but there are some guests that they need no introduction. I don't even write an introduction. I just kind of let it flow simply because of the relationship, the fellowship that you have with them. You're excited about them. You're excited about their journey. You're excited about their anointing that's on their life. And each time that you see them, you just kind of, even if you don't see them for several months, when you do see them, you just kind of pick up where you left off and just continue the conversation. That's my guest today. My guest today is a wonderful, dear, sweet friend of ours, Katie Ginn. Maybe the last time she was on the program, she was Katie Eubanks. But she got grown and became a young adult and decided to go get married. And now this sweet lady, my friend, Katie Ginn, she is editor and publisher of Mississippi Christian Living. I am delighted to have her on this program. Katie, welcome to Defining Moments, the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be in your new studio. And you made me sound so young by saying, oh, she went and got grown and became a young adult. I got married at 35, y'all.
Well, you did some, listen, whatever you're drinking or however you're living, it is agreeing, because if you didn't say that, I would not have known that. It just seems like you were out of college just a couple of years ago.
No, we met when I was 30.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I said in the promo before we came on the air, I said, I've been accused of being, Katie, I've been accused of being an eternal optimist. I am.
Yeah.
All right. I enjoy life. I enjoy people. Mm-hmm. But also, I like to think that I'm a realist, that I'm a devout Christian, and I know that I'm saved by the love of Jesus Christ and his sacrifice, his work, not mine. Amen. But also I know that the journey of Christianity can be hard. Mm-hmm. It can be very difficult. Our son says you have ebbs and flows. You have highs and then you have lows. And particularly, what do you do when you're walking with the Lord and you know that you've been destined, you know that you've been purposed, but you find yourself either in a dry season, you find yourself in a hard season, you find yourself in a difficult season. And Jesus says, the thief comes not but for to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. I said, it is in those times, those very difficult times, and they will come, you have to embrace the reality that you were born for a purpose. Mm-hmm. First of all, you were born for God's glory, to give God glory, and then you were born to accomplish his kingdom purpose on earth. Now, what does that have to say? What does that have to do with anything of my introduction of you? I am so inspired by you. I am so inspired by your journey. I'm so inspired that as a young lady, you dared to embrace what the Lord had placed inside of you at a very young age. You wanted to be a writer at a very young age. Years later, you're editor and publisher of a very well-known, respected, and recognized publication, Mississippi Christian Living. Mm-hmm. So again, welcome to Defining Moments. I love your journey. I appreciate your hard work. I appreciate your dedication. I appreciate your commitment. And more importantly, Katie, I appreciate you not giving up.
Yeah, thank you.
It takes courage not to give up.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
People see you now, and they see this publication. Mm-hmm. And by the way, this is the December edition. Very pretty.
Yes,
all right.
Thank you. I thought so.
Yeah. People see your destination, but they don't know your journey.
Yeah.
Your journey has been very, very difficult. Well, let's start with your dreaming years. Okay. How did you get here in 2025?
Well, there certainly have been a couple of very difficult parts of the journey, but I mean, overall, I still would say I have lived a very charmed life. The dream for, eventually having something like this under my purview. I was a freshman in college at Northern Arizona University. We were in Arizona for one random year, and I just remember I was walking in a thrift store somewhere in Flagstaff, and I got the idea, I want to own a Christian magazine one day. And at the time I thought, it's going to be like, because I love pop culture. I was like a pop culture addict, but I also had been editor of the literary magazine at my high school the year before. And so I wanted to combine those things and have it be half like entertainment magazine, like Entertainment Weekly or something, and half literary magazine.
Right.
I think the Lord knew that, something like this would be better.
Right, exactly.
And so eventually I took
Hone it in, ring it in.
Yeah, rein it in. So eventually I took over this publication, which started, while I was still in high school, long before I ever thought about owning it. But yeah, so I got the idea. We moved to Mississippi. I transferred to Ole Miss. And just because they had a few more magazine classes than NAU, that's all I looked at. Like, well, Ole Miss has more magazine classes. I'll be closer to my family. I'll go there. And it turned out that my thesis advisor, when I created my own magazine prototype senior year at Ole Miss, my thesis advisor, his nickname was literally Mr. Magazine, to the point where he has it trademarked.
Wow.
Dr. Samir, Mr. Magazine, Husney. He's like got all these connections in the industry, all these friends who are bigwigs at magazines. And
right.
He's a character. You should have him on the show. But I had no idea when I transferred that I would end up working with somebody like that, So I did the magazine prototype and business plan, heavy air quotes, for my honors thesis senior year at Ole Miss, and graduated, moved home with the parents, didn't have a job on the horizon, freelanced a little bit, did some freelance writing for local magazines, and I approached Marilyn Tennant at Mississippi Christian Living.
All right, now I want you to put a pin right there.
Okay.
All right, because I'm a huge fan of Marilyn. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this. So when did the bug actually hit you to write? Was it in Nevada? I mean, Arizona? God purposed us.
Yeah.
When we're born.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us accepted at an older age. I wish that I'd really accepted mine at a younger age. Mm-hmm. I have fully embraced my purpose now. But God is a God of redemption, and He's a God of grace. Mm-hmm. But when did you fall in love with the idea of writing?
I mean, writing, I've been doing in some form or fashion for a long time. Like, I remember my aunt and uncle giving me a set of personalized stationery when I was in like second or third grade.
Oh my goodness.
And I would write letters to extended family members that I rarely, if ever, saw. And my grandmas and people I did see. But like, I would write people letters, and I had a little diary probably from the time I was in second grade, like off and on. I have a trunk at home, a chest that's like half full of all these journals I've had since middle school.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So been journaling off and on for much of my life.
Were you influenced by? I know your parents are business people, but were you influenced by your parents?
I would say my mom more so with the writing.
Okay.
My dad now, I think he does have a sort of memoir book project in the works because he had a very interesting upbringing and he wants to write something just kind of for family. But mom was always more interested in the artistic side of things. Dad was always more interested in the structured architecture,
sure.
engineering,
Yeah,
definitely my mom. And my mom and I would read together. She read to me from a very young age. She taught me to read before kindergarten.
Yeah.
We would read books together, like, we would have John Grisham's The Client, and she'd read a chapter aloud, and then I would read a chapter aloud, and we would do stuff like that.
So you were introduced to it at a very early age.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like we had a room, the house I grew up in Arkansas that I lived in the most, we had a room that was the library. I mean, it had it had the computer in there. So if I wanted to get on MSN Messenger at the time or send an email, I could do that. But like, it was the library and it was full of books. And so that's, like not everybody, some people would just call it, oh, that's our office or, oh, that's our computer room. But no, it was the library.
You were purposed. And if you pay attention, I've learned if you really, really pay attention, whatever you are drawn to, whatever you most love, typically is what the Lord is calling you to accomplish. Years later, this wonderful lady, Marilyn, that I had the privilege of meeting, God intersected you with her. Now tell the story about how you and Marilyn met.
First of all, Marilyn is so gorgeous. When I first started working
not with only her, exteriorly but her heart as well.
Yes, but when we first started working together, I worked for her for a month before I took over the magazine. I'll back up in a minute to how we first met, but there would be times where we'd be like sitting at a desk together and she'd be on the computer and I'd be like to her left and I would just stare at her. 'Cause like, you are so...
Are you for real?
Like, you are so pretty. How? I don't understand. But anyway, so right out of college, probably that summer, 2010, I approached her at her office at Mississippi Christian Living. I don't even know if it was Mississippi Christian Living yet. It might have still been Metro Christian Living.
I think it was.
And I said, I'd love to work for you. I gave her like a 3-inch thick binder full of my stuff, my magazine work or whatever. And she was so sweet and said, oh, I really can't afford to hire anybody right now. I would if I could, but thank you so much. And, at some point we became Facebook friends. I saw her once or twice at like little luncheons or whatever, but that was about it. And then years later, I did eventually over the next year get a job at the Northside Sun newspaper, which had a monthly magazine as well. And then a few years after that, got to the Clarion Ledger, where I was actually able to be the editor of their monthly magazine at the time for a year. So then a few years after that, Marilyn sends me a Facebook message asking me to lunch. And I say, okay. So we go to lunch and like, she's like in the process of sitting down and says, would you like to buy a magazine? And I was like,
oh, wow.
And of course I'm 30, maybe not yet 30 at the time. And I'm like, have you seen my bank account?
Yeah.
Because like I grew up having everything I ever needed and most of what I wanted. And like my dad explained to me the concept of a budget and here's what you should do. But he never hovered over my shoulder to make sure I did it.
Right.
And so like I built up all the savings when I was living at home. And then when I moved out, I just
that's right.
Spent it all.
Here it is. Yeah.
Spent it all. And so I'm like, I would love to come on board, like, because she explained that she was ready to retire and sell the business. And I was like, I mean, I'll take over for you as editor. I would love to do that, or I'll come work for you. But I mean,
owning it?
I can't,
Yeah.
And I left that lunch and, she said, well, let's just keep in touch, and meet again. And I left that lunch and I called my mom and I got a little teary on the phone with her. And I said, I just left lunch with Marilyn Tennant and she's wanting me to come on board somehow at Mississippi Christian Living, And I was just amazed. I couldn't believe it. Because it's literally like,
And years has passed
oh yeah,
since you first met her.
yeah, about
and
8 years.
worked with her.
Well, I had never worked with her. I had tried to, and she had told me no.
Yeah.
And it was 8 years later, almost.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And so then I told my dad about it, and as my dad often does, he just basically offered to buy the business for me. If it was, we didn't know if that was doable even for him, because we kind of assumed it would cost this much. And then as we met with her and her CPA, it was about half of what we expected.
Wow.
Because she could have charged us what we were expecting, but she wasn't really trying to make money off of it. She just wanted to take what she had in the bank account and then not lose money. She wanted to just come out even.
I want you to put a pin there.
Yeah.
So you've heard the expression of not. I'm sharing with you now. Blessing delayed is not blessing denied.
Mm-hmm.
You had met her 8 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
8 years later, she randomly gives you a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet with you. Even before she sits down and says, do you want to buy a business?
Yeah.
What would you tell those people? In fact, I want you to look at them in that camera.
Wait, this one here?
That's right there. Okay. I forgot to tell you where the cameras were.
That's okay. Hi.
What do you tell those people, Katie? Looking back,
Mm-hmm.
those people that would say, I'm never going to accomplish what's inside of my heart. It just seems like it's never, ever going to happen. I've tried. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Based upon your own life's experiences, how would you encourage them? Don't give up.
I mean, that's what I would say is don't give up, because if it's the Lord's purpose for you, I would venture to say it can't be thwarted. I'm not a theologian, but
That's a good word.
if it's meant to be, if the Lord wants it to happen for you, he will continue to give you opportunities, especially if you belong to him, he'll continue to give you opportunities to walk in that. Now, we do have to say yes and do it, and I wish that I had done more things to prepare myself, or, there are certain things I wish I had done that would have helped me in this, but it was just grace upon grace. So usually he gives you a signal,
And the reason why that I even asked Katie this question, and it is relevant and it is so meaningful, is because the very thing that you're encouraging other people to do, you've had to do along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And you've shared on the radio program before. Your walk with the Lord is not one of these kinds of walks, or particularly early on, that I walk blindly.
Right.
There are times that I've asked the Lord, are you sure?
Yeah.
Lord, is this you? Show me. Mm-hmm. No, I need tangible evidence. Because
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of things that are being thrown at me. I need tangible evidence that this is you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said, this is not sacrilegious. This is not blasphemous that you've asked the Lord to show yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes that people feel like, well, this thing keeps eluding me. It keeps evading me.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps running away. I just like miss. But you are a living witness that what the Lord has for you, it is for you.
Yeah.
If you stay focused.
Yeah. And I mean, that doesn't negate the hard seasons, though, because I think of people who are, I have dear friends who are late 30s, early 40s, still single, would like to not be single. And they've done everything they know to do. They've done everything they feel led to do, and still nothing, and still loneliness, and still, a 1-bedroom apartment, and still, the same job where it's hard, and just like that delay in things getting better. And so there are times where all you can do is entrust yourself to the Lord and continue pursuing him and finding joy in him, because right now your outside world is it can be tough.
Isn't that ultimately where the Lord wants us?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
I know it seems strange, it seems scary,
mm-hmm.
for us to just say, I surrender.
Right.
I'm just going to quit trying, Lord. Ultimately, isn't that where he wants to get us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's easier said than done. But yeah,
Yes.
I mean, that's all you can do. And it's really freeing when you do that. There you are. On the
Well, and I did
cover.
this for a reason. I have a little bit more snow on my hair.
And you're a little more fit and trim, I'm just going to say.
Then or now?
Now.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I've made a purposeful effort.
You're a vegetarian now.
I'm vegetarian, and I go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week.
You're probably doing better than I am.
Well, it takes effort. I got up this morning at 5.
Ugh.
And I know because I realized I only have one of me. And I realized that the Lord has given me a lot of runway ahead of me. But in order for me to accomplish it with any degree of quality, then I've got to really take care of his temple. But there's a story behind this. So you met with your mom and your dad, and you met with Marilyn. You purchased the magazine. All right. The Lord gave you favor with Marilyn.
Yeah.
Because it could have been more expensive.
Yeah.
All right. But God gave you grace. And Marilyn made a commitment to do a story with me and my wife. But you took over the magazine. You purchased the magazine. Now tell the story.
Well, she had, let's see, so I went with her to the September cover shoot, and then October, I don't remember what October was. I think she had already planned that one too. And then she had planned for you guys to be on the November cover. And she said, oh, Larry's great. I just love them. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, it's one less thing I have to figure out. And I trust Marilyn, and I won't try to like rock the boat right out of the gate. You know, I'm going to go forward and do this. And so we met at a park in Flowood,
Mississippi, Liberty Park. You're exactly right.
Yes. And we had a wonderful conversation, and you were so excited, and just, you know, I feel like I want you as my hype man throughout life, because you just started from day one, like, you know, really, I don't know, just affirming God in me. And I really appreciated that. So.
And it has never waned, by the way. I am as excited about you, your calling, your anointing today as I was the first day. And I have clear vision. God is not through with you yet. I'm telling you, it is magnificent. This best is yet to come. It is for his glory. But as a result of you choosing to be here, unbeknownst to you, you've led many people to Jesus Christ. In fact, your very mission statement, the reason that you do what you do is not to enrich yourself, you know, materially. You know, you could be doing other things to do that, but this is ministry for you.
Yeah. Yeah, our mission is to point people to Christ, to make their lives better. And I think the way we do that is, I get this verse from 1 Peter 2:9, I think, I think one translation says to proclaim the excellencies of he who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And I just love that phrase, to proclaim the excellencies. And I think, you know, when you read people's stories and how God has worked in their lives and stuff, I mean, that's proclaiming his excellencies. That's giving us hope for when our journey seems hard. We can read other people's stories, and, you know, I guess if we have the wrong attitude about it, we can say, oh, well, great, I'm glad God's working for them, you know. But, you know, if we go into it with an open heart, we can say, okay, and be reminded of, yeah, you're right. And he did something similar for me too, back here in the past, and I need to trust him for the future. And, you know, so it's an encouragement.
It has to be amazing for you as you sit and you're interviewing your guest, that you're listening to their story. And you just shared a second ago, it has to be encouraging for you.
Yeah.
For you to listen to all of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the hardships, the loss, the gains, the illnesses, the recoveries, the miracles. Does that reaffirm, or does that solidify or affirm you, I'm doing the right thing?
I guess I'm not, in those moments, I'm not really thinking about I'm doing the right thing so much as like just being affirmed by their stories. Just, going into a cover shoot a lot of times in a grumpy mood because I'm late and my photographer's there super early because he's great about that. And then I'm the late person and I'm just like in a flurry, in a tizzy and trying to get all my stuff set up. And then by the end of the interview, I'm like, and it's like, Daryl Stegall, who used to shoot my covers, he said, man, it's like we've been in church for the past hour, because he'll sit with the interview too and he'll take candid shots of us. So he gets to hear the stories as well. And Daryl had the audacity to retire. So now I'm using Joe Ellis, who's awesome.
Yeah.
I would think I speak for me and my photographer when I say it's just, it's always an encouragement.
When I see, I go to various outlets and I see your magazine on the newsstand, man, I'm so encouraged. Many times they're almost empty.
Yeah, if it primos especially,
and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
because people now, I mean, it's becoming a routine that people go and they get it and they read it, and it's a source of encouragement. It's a source that, you know what, I'm not on the journey by myself.
Yeah.
That there are others.
Yeah.
And if I'm here sulking because of my glass half empty, maybe I should have a different perspective that rather than looking at half empty, maybe I should really look at it half full. It may not be how I would want it to be, but oh my gosh, I'm so blessed.
Yeah. And we try to get into I have to remind myself, but we do try to get into like the hard seasons of people's lives. I'm not trying to poke and prod where I'm not welcome, but we try to, ask people to share the biggest challenge and the biggest blessing, not just the sunshine and roses. Cause I remember one interview I went into, it was interviewing this couple, and he just seemed like a cool person. He was like a business coach and he had been in ministry before. And I was like, okay, they probably have a cool story. I didn't know much about them. And then like 20 minutes into the interview, he starts talking about this like back surgery or back injury he had where he was in chronic pain for like months and years and like went through this intense depression. And, you would never know that to look at them today. So, and they were getting emotional sharing this. I had no idea about it, so it wasn't something I prompted them to say. They just shared it of themselves, and that's what I love, is when people really open up and give us a glimpse so that we can be encouraged, like, okay, they don't have it all together.
Yeah.
Like we are in this together, and, none of us is perfect. We've all had hard seasons.
To date, what have you learned? Not necessarily the business of it. I mean, the business will come.
Yeah.
The business basically, and I don't mean to be dismissive, but the business aspect is just X's and O's, black and white. But what have you learned spiritually, emotionally about the business ministry?
Yeah.
Because it is a ministry.
It is a ministry.
That the Lord sat in your lap.
Well, I've learned to quit trying to do everything by myself.
Yeah.
To delegate, to get people on board who can help me, to surround myself with people who are smarter than me about things that I'm not smart about. That's been a huge thing. I've learned how crucial it is to have the right people around you. And
now parallel that to life.
Oh yeah. I mean, you become like who you're around. And like, I've never had like bad people around me in the business. I don't want to, say that, but just having the right people in the right positions, business wise, but then like having the right people in the right positions in your life, like,
That's good.
And sometimes it's not even about like a good person versus a bad person, or a good, church versus a bad church, or a good Sunday school versus a bad Sunday school. Sometimes it's good versus better, or better versus best. And it's like, you have to make a hard decision to leave something that you really enjoy for something that you think, well, it might be a little better.
Wow.
It might challenge us a little more. It might push us a little more. It might grow us closer to the Lord. So maybe we should, and personally, my husband and I think we're on our 4th life group, or that's what our church calls Sunday school, life group.
Life group.
We're on our 4th life group since we got married. And I'm hoping we'll stick with this one for a while. But, we've learned that sometimes it's just for a season. And sometimes it's like you hear about this new group that's like, oh, this is run by older people that we really respect. We could really use some older mentorship in our lives. And the group is all about opening up and being vulnerable and knowing and being known. And we don't have kids yet, so we're in a season where maybe we can hunker down and focus on that. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because some groups, it's like you kind of get in it because you all have kids the same age and you want to make sure your kids have friends, and that's good, and you still do Bible study and encourage each other, but we wanted something a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And heard about it and we were like, I feel terrible leaving our 3rd group.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And I've learned change is okay.
Right.
If you're very thoughtful, if you're very intentional, sometimes you don't even have all of the answers.
Yeah.
But the Lord placed something inside of us in the person called the Holy Spirit to guide us and direct us. That's his job, to give us wisdom, to guide. And sometimes he tells us this season is up.
Yeah.
I'm not through with you, but you've learned the lessons in this particular setting.
Yeah.
I've learned oftentimes that people get comfortable with being comfortable. And when you get comfortable with being comfortable, then you cease to grow. You cease to learn. People get comfortable with routines, with what they know, what they can identify, what they can explain, but you cease to grow. I'm not saying be careless or callous about just kind of moving willy-nilly around.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's okay. Change is okay.
I'm going to have my husband watch that part.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
That's how you grow.
Yeah.
You change. You're pruned. You're refined. And I've always said, if it doesn't work, then change.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're not growing, then you have a responsibility to do something about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of growing, listen up. I want to ask you a question when we come back. I want you to stay tuned. Cal Reno speaks actually about growth, Christian growth journey. What do you do when you feel stagnated? We have a responsibility to the Lord and to ourselves not to stay in a place of stagnation. We'll be right back after this message. Stay tuned.
Hey, my name is Kyle Reno, Senior Pastor at Crossgates Baptist Church. Here's a defining moment from this last Sunday.
I could just talk to him at any time. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the greatest gifts God gave me is through spiritual fathers in my life passing on to me, is to know that I can call on him. And I hope the Lord lets me live a long life. Let me tell you what I hope is cultivated over that. It's just greater desire to stay close, to commune, to talk. I want to just tell you something this morning. He hears us. All who call on him in prayer. That God has invited you through the finished work of Jesus Christ into his presence, that you might pray and that he might actually hear and move on your behalf. It says the Lord is close to all who call on him. Yes, to all who call on him in truth. Listen to verse 19. He grants the desires of those who fear him. You hear that? He hears their cry for help and he rescues them. One of the greatest things that could happen this morning is some of us, and we can praise him over this, we should cry out for some help this morning.
Hey, thank you for taking some time to listen to that defining moment from this last week. If you'd like to listen to the sermon in its entirety, you can go to crossgates.com vineplacecommunityoutreach.org, and we would love to have you visit with us any week on any of our Sunday experiences or our midweek opportunities. I'd encourage you this week to take some time and really think about what moments right now are defining your destination. God has more in store for you. Hope to see you soon.
I'm Dr. Marcus Cheney, board member with Vine Place Community Outreach. During this season, we would like for your financial support for Vine Place Community Outreach. Our mission is to help assist the most vulnerable and undeserved among us by feeding the hungry, clothing the unclothed, care for the widows, children and disabled, and help provide training with skill sets to those in our community for a more sustainable, self-sufficient, and a better quality of life. But we need your help. Whether as a one-time donor or a monthly partner, any amount will be greatly appreciated, as 100% of your financial support will go towards helping those who really need help. It is similar to the story of the little boy who had 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread. When you turned it over to Jesus, he can do a whole lot with it. You can give by logging on to vineplaceonline.org or mail a check to VPCO 124 Vine Drive, Brandon, Mississippi 39047. VPCO is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. 100% of your donation or contributions are tax deductible. On behalf of Vine Place Community Outreach Board, we encourage you to help us clothe, feed, and ensure that we give citizens a better quality of life. We thank you, and may God continue to bless you.
Hey, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here today. My guest is Katie Ginn. She is editor and publisher of Mississippi Christian Living. What an incredible. She calls me her hype guy, and I'll get that. But you know, it's not superficial. It's very intentional. I'm just a fan because I see the anointing in her life. I just believe, Katie, that the Lord will place around you people who don't want anything from you. They just admire the gift, the anointing in your life, and they somehow feel kind of responsible to make sure that you stay focused. And I just kind of feel that I'm one of the people, I'm one of the earthly angels of yours that kind of feel responsible, like, hey, Katie,
what you doing?
Hey, Katie, how are you? Are you okay? Don't want anything from you. I'm here for you, And I think we all, none of us are independent of needing relationships, particularly the Lord. We were born to coexist, not to live on this distant island.
I think everybody needs somebody like that. So I appreciate you being that for
Absolutely,
me.
absolutely. And I do it with joy. We were talking about change, about embracing change. And you said that you're on your 4th life group. And I said, that's okay.
Right. It is.
Because it's, what you need, different seasons of your life. And if you cease to grow, guess what happens? Decay. If you're not progressing,
you're regressing.
There are many components. There are many things that you're excited about. One of the things, it's like you were taking a deeper dive into my family. You committed to doing the cover. Marilyn, when she moved off of the scene in terms of the owner, and you took over, you honored her by doing the cover of me and my wife. But prior to that, I don't know if you knew this, that our son, Javis, was featured on the cover as Christian Leaders of the Future.
Yeah, he was one of our scholarship finalists. That, I don't know what year that was. It was probably before.
It's 2018.
Okay, so right before I took over. Yeah.
It was 2018.
Yeah.
And we were on 220, but yet taking over the magazine, you could have X'd and nixed out a lot of things.
Oh, man.
But you continue that.
Well, that program, our scholarship program, Christian Leaders of the Future, is my favorite thing we do all year. Like, I don't know that I went to it that year, that Javis was part of it, but, you know, Marilyn explained how it worked, and Bellhaven is a great partner with us. There's one of our scholarship
And
there he is in the bow tie, the red bow tie.
Can you believe that?
I can absolutely believe it.
And listen, and he's actually, you know, boy, he's going to chastise me.
No.
He looks like a little kid there.
Well, he is.
He is a little kid.
He's, what, 17 in that picture? Yeah.
Yeah, he was 17.
Yeah.
A bow tie.
I love it.
But that's important to you.
Yes. Yeah. And it's become more and more important to me. Like, she explained how the event worked. Bellhaven's always so gracious. They host it for us, you know, and it's great for them because they get to be like, hey, here's our beautiful campus, kids, you know.
Yeah.
But it, you know, we pick these finalists based on their applications and what we learn about their character and, of course, their writing ability, but more so their character. And they get to come for a little reception and they get a certificate, and 2 of them win an actual, you know, financial scholarship. But before that, we actually have workshops for them. We bring in a couple of speakers to just encourage them practically and spiritually. And the first year I got to kind of experience all that. And like, I guess I picked the speakers. Maybe she'd already picked them. I don't know. And just got to sit back and watch it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love this. And you're going to be our keynote speaker this coming March. So I'm very
I'm
excited.
excited. I'm excited about it. Out of all of the thousands of people that you know.
No, you I can't believe I haven't asked you to do it before. You're going to be awesome.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess just like the older I get, because like it's been 7 years since I took over the magazine. So
can you believe that?
It's insane.
Does that sink in with you? 7 years.
Yeah. And that's like a lot of life has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm more than twice those kids' age now. So when I started, I was 30 years old and I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I was in high school. It was only like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I can totally relate to you guys, even though I couldn't, but I thought I could.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, I want to mother them and like wrap my arms around them and, you know, give them a hug and tell them it's going to be okay. Especially some of the stuff they share in their applications. These kids have been through it, you know.
Yeah.
They're not all just privileged upper class private school, you know, and some of the privileged upper class private school kids are the ones who've had the worst things that they've dealt with. You never know.
Oh yeah.
But like, I think it was 2024, March of 2024, we had the Christian Leaders Scholarship Program. And as they were all leaving at the end of the day, I was just like, I just felt this strong, strong pull. Like, I need to be pouring into this age group more. I really want to be pouring into this age group more. And at first I thought I would do that through my podcast, but that really didn't come to fruition. I want to get back to my podcast in a minute, but all that's happened really, and I think it's the sweetest thing ever, is I've been able to start helping with the high school girls Bible study.
Oh, wow.
Through my church. And it's just like 3 or 4 girls, but they're so sweet and precious and I love them. And I feel toward them the way you feel toward me. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, just wanting to like tuck them
right.
under my wings.
That's right.
And like,
and protect them and encourage them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to make sure that nothing gets to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've been meeting. We've only met for like a couple of months now, but it's just become so sweet and I've really, really enjoyed it. So
you are a pourer. You are a pourer. You pour out a lot. You walk quietly. The Lord has developed you. He has encouraged you and strengthened you. Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert.
I agree. I agree. Okay, I agree. But it's such an oxymoron because you consider yourself an introvert, but the Lord has had to pull you.
Yeah, stretch me.
He has had to stretch you.
Yeah.
You know, as a business owner, as a writer, as an interviewer, you know, and now as a podcast host. So let's talk about your podcast. You said I'm going to talk about that. Oh my word.
Yes. Oh my word with Katie, because
Oh my word, Katie.
I say oh my word a lot. And of course, usually when I say oh my word, it's like, oh my word, get out of my way on the interstate.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to reclaim it for good, you know.
That's right.
So I started the podcast in 2024, and my only goal was just, I want to start something new this year. That was it. Just start something new. And I didn't.
In 2024.
2024.
All right. So you want to start something else new, as if owning a magazine wasn't challenging
Well,
enough.
but I had owned the magazine for, it was 6 years by then, or almost 6 years.
So listen, hold that a little slight pen. I want my producer to keep that picture up.
Yeah.
So this is your 7th year. You
Yes.
started the podcast last year.
Yeah.
2024. So somewhere along the way, you determined, okay, I can wear these clothes. Now, I can wear these clothes, figuratively speaking. I'm fitting in with being editor and publisher of Mississippi Christian Living.
yeah.
I'm beginning to hit my
Yeah.
rhythm.
Yeah.
When did that occur?
Oh, goodness.
When did you overcome the trauma of like, oh my goodness, what have I done?
Yeah. Probably around 2022, 2023.
So around between the 4th and 5th year.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
When-
I hired a fabulous ad sales rep, Teresa Howell, who's still with me, because, you know, I had a couple of sales reps, but one lived in Grenada and one didn't have as much flexibility in her schedule.
Sure.
and was more so like maintaining the existing clients. And I needed somebody who lived here
Yeah.
and who could go knock on doors.
Sure.
And I put an ad on Indeed or something.
Yeah.
And Teresa, she had spent several years selling newspaper ads in Jackson, Tennessee, and now she lived in Brandon. And I'm like, she has experience selling print ads, and she like lives here, and she wants to do this. Like, it was just like, oh, you know. And she just has had a fabulous attitude and work ethic, and has been great. So again, having the right people on the team in the right positions was crucial. So once she was in place and I started to realize, okay, she's going to be successful.
Okay.
Then I could like exhale a little bit.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah. And so started the podcast. My goal was to start something new. I thought my default was just like interviewing people like I do for the magazine. Just share your story. Tell me your Oh My Word stories, since it's called Oh My Word with Katie.
Yes.
You know, and so that's what I've been doing for like a year and a half now. And then this summer, so several of the people that I've interviewed for the podcast have happened to publish books, write books. You know, everybody's written a book, it seems like. But one day I was going on Facebook to promote one of these episodes where I'd interviewed an author. And I started, you know, at the time, I thought I was going to try to use a podcast to reach young girls, teen girls, and it just wasn't working. And so then I'm trying to promote this author episode in these like writers groups that I'm part of on Facebook. And I start to realize I sure do have a lot of natural connections with writers, more so than with teen girls who might or might not listen to this podcast. And so, and the show is called Oh My Word with Katie. So starting January 1st, 2026, Oh My Word with Katie is going to focus exclusively on interviewing Christian writers.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm
You
really
heard
really
it here
excited.
first. You heard it here
Well,
first.
they could have read it on page 6 of this magazine, but other than that, they've heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I'm really excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Question. So what do you tell people? Because I've had this conversation with the Lord. What do you tell people that would say, Lord, I have all of this stuff that you put inside of me? The stuff being vision and dreams.
Yeah.
But how am I going to get it done?
Right. Yeah.
I don't have the resources. I don't have the right last name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live in the right zip code.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to the right church. I'm not in the right skin color.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not in the right social economic class. It's just too overwhelming,
Yeah.
but it's burdensome.
Yeah.
Well, how am I supposed to get this done, Lord?
Right.
What would you say?
Find somebody who's done it before. I mean, and unfortunately, there are people where they really do just have to lean on the Lord because they're literally the first African American pilot or person from Mississippi to do XYZ, and so there is no other person behind them to look to. But in most cases, in 2025, or in many cases, you can find someone who's done it before. Like, of course, for me, it would be Marilyn. For you, there have been previous radio hosts and guys who did what you did in your career. But yeah, find somebody who's done it before and ask them all the questions. And then this is more of a business thing because I've had to learn to think this way. Figure out who's going to be excited about what you want to do.
Oh, that's good.
And find those people.
Oh, that's good.
Figure out how they can help you and how you can help each other. And I'm still trying to figure that out with this new version of the podcast. I'm like, well, should I reach out to the Mississippi Writers Guild? Okay, I'm going to go speak to them and I'll tell them about it then, and like, who should I tell about this? And yeah, I mean, just getting the right people, getting the right information, and then I don't know. I mean,
I've learned, Katie, that it's okay to pivot.
Yeah.
I've learned, for me, my secret sauce is making sure that you're honest with yourself. Making sure that you're honest with yourself and being transparent with yourself.
Yeah.
And having the transparent, he knows, so you might as well go ahead and do it, having the transparent conversation with the Lord. And that is, I don't know what I'm doing, but there's something inside of me, or I'm over my head, or I don't have the resources. But I've learned this, and you said it earlier, that if the Lord has placed it inside of you, He's going to accomplish it. It may take Him months, it may take Him years. It's not the fact that the vision of what is inside of you is illegitimate. He's trying to prepare you.
Yeah.
I've learned He is trying to prune you. He's trying to refine you for that which He has given you. I mean, look at the story of David.
Yeah.
When David was anointed king, he didn't sit on the throne that day. God took him through a pruning process.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Lord gives us what He has prepared for us, we'll destroy it or we'll get destroyed in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And there were times with this magazine where I wanted to quit and I wanted to try to turn it into a nonprofit, which I'm not saying that would never happen, but
Sure.
It wasn't the right time for that either.
Yeah.
And just was very emotionally distraught, and we were losing money every month, and I didn't have Teresa on the team yet. I didn't know where to turn to, and I was like, I just wish somebody would help me.
Yeah.
And eventually the Lord did, but I had to put that ad out for an ad rep. I had to do things. So it's, you do everything you know to do, and you leave the rest to the Lord. I mean,
That's important. Jesus came to the man that had been at the pool.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you see? And Jesus says, "Do you want to be healed?" The man started giving excuses. I don't
Right.
believe Jesus was asking the question because He didn't know the answer. I
Right.
think it was a rhetorical question. Do you really want to? If you want to, then I will provide, because you're talking to the source.
Right. Yeah.
I will provide resources, but you're talking to the source. And so that's my question to you today. Again, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not angry. I'm not being judgmental. But do you really want to? Have you talked yourself out of what God has placed inside of you? Because it's uncomfortable. Because you need to let go, and you have to let go. Some people are afraid to let go. Some people are afraid to be vulnerable. In order for God to accomplish what He has in your life, you got to let go, and you've got to be willing to let go. And then you've got to be willing to surround yourself with positive people, not negative people, because negative people will kill
Yes.
your dream flat dead. Negative people will poison what the Lord has placed inside of you. You've got to be careful of the Judases. The Judases are around. And the most devastating reality is sometimes they can be in your inner circle. So you've always got to examine the people that you are around and the people that are around you. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
This is your most current,
It
this month's issue.
Yes. And so we talked about Christian Leaders of the Future, which is our scholarship program.
Yes.
This is our Christian Leaders of the Year, which are nominated by readers. And I have a panel of judges, and we select about 5-ish to be on the December cover every year. I've done that for 3 or 4 years now. And
So cool.
I always love these interviews because, they come from all over and different jobs and backgrounds. The guy on the left is from Hattiesburg.
Yes.
But there's always some kind of commonality. And the commonality this time that I heard multiple times in the interview was how important it is to not think you're above doing the little things.
Wow.
As a leader. Because they talked about the leaders who influenced them.
Yeah.
And what they noticed about those people was that they were willing to step down and do the little things that they could have let somebody else do.
But you're never too big to be servant leaders. I know Joanne Bell very, very well. Boy, you're talking about servant leaders. How do you choose your cover stories?
Well, that one I just explained is pretty easy. The scholarship finalists, that's self-explanatory.
Yeah, self-explanatory.
We tend to have themes. So January is health and fitness. So for instance, this upcoming January, it's going to be Rebecca Turner and her husband. Rebecca is a dietitian at UMMC. She's written and spoken about health and wellness, for years. I knew of her when I was at the Clarion Ledger and she was writing columns for us. So again, just one of those, why haven't I done Rebecca before? So sometimes just people I know of. Other times, like I get on Facebook and I say, all right, who are the Christians making a difference in the arts in Mississippi? Or who are the Christians who are strong believers and they work in the finance sector or whatever? And I get so many comments. And I've gotten better. I'm trying to get better about keeping a running list, a running spreadsheet of who these people are. And we have an adoption issue in November. So tag all your adoptive family friends.
Wow, that's cool. So what is the target of your publication?
So most of I would say the majority, over half of our readers are married women 45 and up. And that's from a survey we did a few years ago. And so, we have a column every month called Modern Motherhood, which that existed before I took over. I've tried to do better about thinking about, okay, what is this demographic of women thinking about, So we did a column recently about how to deal with your kid moving off to college, how to prepare your heart for that, and things like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I could write about that one.
Yeah, you could.
I tell younger parents, I said, love your children, hug them, affirm them. There's a phase of being their parents, parenting them. Don't do this, don't do that. Get up, brush your teeth, make up your bed. But then all of a sudden in life, Katie, you move from parenting them. Don't stay out too late. What are you watching? Mm-hmm. You move from parenting them and it sneaks up on you. You move from parenting them to being a parent. What do I mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Meaning that you give them instructions during a period of their lives. And then all of a sudden, it's not that they no longer need your daily instructions, but they become independent of your daily instructions, and they develop. They are developing themselves, and you realize that I've invested as much as I can from a tutorial standpoint.
Right.
Now I need to shift and just being there for them when they need me, and allowing them to learn, allowing them to make decisions. And now, rather than me saying, do this, do that, when they come to me, I need to situate myself in a position that when they come to me, they're coming to me not necessarily for me to tell them what to do, but to give them some thoughts to think about.
Yeah.
At the conclusion, it's up to you because now you're a young adult. It's
Right.
up to you to make the decision, but these are some of the things that I would think about.
Yeah.
Now, in the back of your head, you still want to tell them.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely know what you want them to do.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
But so I think that's very important. You've been very, very intentional, and you're very focused. You're methodical. You're analytical. You know, you're not just I own this. I'm editor and publisher, so I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. You're very thought provoking, and you've become better at it.
Yeah.
You know, the last 7 years as a result of going through storms.
Yeah, I mean, I've, as far as picking the cover, you know, like I said, sometimes I'll get on Facebook and get suggestions, and I have my running list, and I have people I know of, and all the things. And then I probably didn't do this with you and Carla because I had like just taken over the magazine. But nowadays, for several years now, I've been to where I go to their Facebook, I scroll about 18 posts down. And I look.
You want to make sure.
Yeah, I look at what they're posting, you know.
That's good.
And I go to their Instagram and I look at like the grid that will just fill the screen.
Oh,
you know,
that's great.
I go, and a lot of times it's the same thing as Facebook. And then I'll see if they have a Twitter account, and most of them it's like they haven't posted in 3 years on Twitter. But I
that
look,
protects you.
you know, and well, it protects me. But then with the OCD that I sometimes struggle with, I can question people too much and get a little legalistic to the point of like, if I took that to its fullest extent, we wouldn't have anybody on the cover. We'd just have to put Jesus on the cover. You know? So I've had to learn that lesson the hard way. And, you know.
Has this strengthened your faith? Has it challenged your faith?
Yeah. Yeah. Because literally I had agreed to put a person on the cover, and then based on what I saw on their social media, I reneged and I told them no. Now, it's one thing if you just decide on the front end before you ever contact them. You say, you know what, not right now, I don't feel right about it. But I'd already told her yes. And the stuff that I saw, it wasn't like, she wasn't having an affair. She wasn't like, you know, getting drunk every weekend. It was minor things that I took as, well, what if because of this, and then this is in there, and then somebody looks at this, and then this happened. It was a chain of what ifs in my OCD brain, and I called her up and told her no, and I didn't listen to my staff at the time. They were like, Katie, this is bonkers, you know, like you're being way too strict. And finally, I talked to another mentor, Dan Hall, who had mentored Marilyn too.
Yeah.
And he said, Katie, do you want to be right or do you want to be like Jesus? And that just, I don't know. I would say it offended me, but it really just convicted me. And I had to think about it because I was like, okay, well, for real, what would Jesus do? Like, what did Jesus do? Well, he sent his disciples out 2 by 2 ahead of him to the towns where he was going to preach the gospel and raise the dead and, you know, heal the sick and all this stuff. And like, he let them do that without him, representing him. And they probably made some people stumble, and they were probably very flawed. We know they were flawed individuals.
Sure.
So like, if Jesus can do that, maybe I can have imperfect people on the cover of my magazine, you know? And so I had to, that was, the OCD, man, is,
but
it's hard.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay to question.
Oh yeah.
It's okay to even make mistakes.
Yeah.
Not to stay in mistakes.
Right.
We're going to make mistakes. So I get a call one day. I'm minding my own business. I get a call one day. Guess what? I'm getting married.
Oh yeah, there we are.
I'm like, what?
Oh, we're
Good
so
for
cute.
you.
Yeah. That's us in Ocean Springs last month in the place where we couldn't sleep because it was right by the railroad.
Did he blindside you? Now, when I say did he blindside you, I'm talking about
Like meeting him?
no, getting married.
No.
Did you think that you were going to get married when you got married?
Yeah. I mean, and in fact, we were From the time we started dating to the time we got married was almost 2 years.
Okay.
Which to me is kind of a long time, but it was all the Lord's timing. It was all good. It was all purposeful. And so I'm glad. But yeah, we got engaged on Thanksgiving 2022 and we got married less than 5 months later in April 2023.
Beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
Extraordinary. And thank you for the invitation.
Of course.
You have allowed me to be and to experience both me and Carla at some very important points of your life.
Yeah.
And boy, I just, I kind of feel like I'm one of your older brothers that kind of feel compelled to just keep an eye on you to make sure that you're okay, knowing that you're okay. You're like the child that went off and did good. You're making your parents proud.
Yeah.
What has marriage taught you?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I said something a while back where you were talking about change and how change is okay. And I was like, I'm going to have my husband watch that. And then I haven't gotten to go back. And change can be hard for him.
Yeah.
And he had to go through even more of a change than I did when we got married because he moved in with me. And so also, let me back up to when we even started dating. I had dated a little. I had dated like a handful of guys. He had dated no one. So like big change stepping into a relationship. And then big change planning a wedding. Big change moving into my super girly house.
Yeah.
That my mom furnished.
New.
Yes. And so that was hard for him. And honestly though, he told me how hard it was for him, but like he's weathered the storm and he's put up with a lot from me. So the other thing is like, he'll tell you that he struggles with fear, but in my mind, he's one of the bravest people I know because he'll tell you he struggles with fear, but then you'll hear about him going whitewater rafting and getting thrown out of the boat and then going again. He's gone 2 or 3 times and like, despite being terrified and stuff like that, just, I don't know. So change is hard. He's gone through a lot of change. He struggles with fear and he's done things that scare the poop out of him. So I love my husband. But what marriage has taught me to communicate better, I think would be number one. And I mean, I thought I was smart. I thought I was organized. You said I'm analytical, methodical.
You are.
You need to have this man on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like there are levels, Larry. So like, and again, like we both tend to overthink stuff. I don't think he really has OCD necessarily, but I don't know, he might have a little touch, but like we're usually not overthinking the same thing at the same time. So that's good. 'Cause he'll have like a whole Amazon list of like different napkin holders, for instance.
Oh my goodness.
This wasn't it, but that's just an example. And he'll be like, hey, Katie, can I get your opinion on this? And I'll go, don't like that one. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. And then,
just that cut and dry.
Yeah. So I'll help him narrow it down. Whereas he's like, oh, but this one, maybe, but then this one, nah, just, find what you want and get it. So like, but then I'm having these moral quandaries over like, I don't know about this, and this. And he's like, well, it's not that black and white. It's kind of nuanced, So we kind of balance each other out that way.
So now it gives wisdom to the fact that it was a good, I believe it is a good thing that you've evolved to maybe an older life group.
Oh yeah.
With older adults, married couples, even with young adult or even adult children.
Yeah.
Because they can pour into you.
Yeah.
They can pour into your marriage.
Yeah.
They can pour into him. You can glean wisdom from them. Yeah.
It's been good. It's been a good group to be part of. And we've even gotten to facilitate the discussion one week, which, we could have volunteered to do that in our previous groups and we just didn't. But somebody asked us, somebody pushed us, in other words, in this group. They challenged us and they were like, hey, we're all going to be out of town next, week. We all do it. And we did. And I think it went okay. So
I would say this. It's a journey. being married, staying married requires constant work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It requires constant intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not compromising, then deception can creep in.
Mm.
If you're trying to control, it's just a matter of time before the relationship starts eroding. If you start keeping secrets,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of time before
Yep.
the relationship starts eroding.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not building your marriage, then you're chipping away at your
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
If more people know about your marriage, if you're telling other people about your husband or about your wife, and you're not working through it together, then it's just a matter of
Right.
time
Yeah.
before the credibility, before the integrity, before the glue of it
Mm-hmm.
starts eroding. And so
Yeah.
I would say, as an older couple, I would say communication has to be intentional.
Yeah.
You have to compromise,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be willing to understand that your mate is not perfect, but then
Yeah.
again, neither are you.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a process.
It is. I mean, just last night, like, I knew that I had to be here at 9:15. Or I told myself 9 because, I mean, I'm driving from Gluckstadt, so
Yeah.
there may be traffic.
Yeah.
You know, I had to be here at 9:15, and then I have a church program, a women's Christmas thing at my church this afternoon/evening, and you know, I'm not going to have as much time with Steven in the morning, so I need to get to bed on time. And Monday nights are our nights to check on the laundry and just all these things. But I think I just assume that he remembers all that like I do. And I don't remind him like, hey, I've really got to get to bed on time tonight, you know. And if I had just done that,
Yeah.
if I had just
Yeah.
done that,
Yeah.
I think things would have gone a lot better. But
Yeah.
instead it was like, I'm getting to bed an hour later than I need to be. I wake up with puffy eyes. It's
Yeah.
just like, ugh. But you get a new chance the next day.
Yeah.
You get a new chance to love your spouse and communicate
Yeah.
the next day. And the other night, actually, this is huge. Because, like, on Saturdays, we'll do a little devotional together. And every now and then, if we're talking on the phone while he's on his way to work, we'll pray or we'll read scripture or something. But, you know, it's sporadic. But the other night he was like, do you want to pray real quick? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so we prayed because he had gotten an urgent prayer request from a friend. And he said, yeah, so apparently Jake and Caitlin are like praying before bed every night. That's something they're trying. We were talking about that after men's group tonight. And I really wasn't going to say anything to you. But then I got this text asking for urgent prayer for this guy who's in the hospital. And I just felt compelled to pray. And he's like, so, you know, I'm up for it if you are, just like praying every night before bed. And I was like, yes, I'm up for it.
Yes.
Like absolutely.
Yes.
So that's been really good, even though it's gotten to where like, hey, like it's like I need to get in the bed, but I'm like, oh, I forgot we're supposed to pray.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we're both like, dang, you know. So we're still working out like, you know, maybe we can pray for different things every night.
Sure.
We can have a system, you know, but
But you know what? What you've learned and what you're learning it has to be intentional.
yeah.
And once again, it's a way to invest in one another.
Yeah.
Because life is busy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, at the end of your life, when you take a retrospective look and recount what really mattered most,
Right.
was it that you spent 90 hours a day at work,
Yeah.
or that you invested in one another to help that person
Right.
get closer to the Lord?
Right. Is it going to be the laundry or the prayer time? Which one are you going to wish that you stayed on top of?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Katie Ginn, you've been a delightful guest.
You're a delightful
Thank you
host.
so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Larry.
Listen, we're like a couple of weeks away from running out of time for the year.
I know.
So I got you in just in the nick of time. No
Yay.
pun intended. So I'm excited about your journey. I'm excited about you. I'm excited about what the Lord has in store for you and your marriage and your hubby, and it's good. It's exciting.
Thank you.
And I am privileged to be reading your book. can't wait to read your book when you write your book.
Yes.
That's next.
Okay.
You know, so, hey, I appreciate you joining me. And remember to join us every Thursday on this station. We're on 9 different digital media platforms. You can also join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 104.3 FM for our radio program. Thank you for being with us all year. Thank you for the wonderful comments and the words of encouragement from the launch of our podcast set, and you just sharing with us how beneficial our ministry has been. I didn't mean to let that fall.
It's okay.
But I appreciate you joining us. Make sure, hey, listen, in the last 15 seconds, where can people get a copy of your magazine?
You can get a copy of this magazine at all 3 Primo's Cafe locations. So Primo's Cafe, Broad Street Bakery, I think they're upstairs.
Now, you know we have a national audience, so they just can't drive to Primo's in Jacksonville.
Okay.
So how can they get a copy of this?
They can get a copy by going to mschristianliving.com, scroll to the bottom, and there's a subscribe button. You can subscribe and get this delivered to your door, $29 a year for 12 issues.
Perfect.
We also put the e-edition. There's a link to that on our website, and all the articles go on our website. You can explore all our content that way. So
Good. You don't want to miss it. It is encouraging. It is delightful. I say that not because she's my friend. I say that because it is a wonderful, wonderful ministry. You will be encouraged. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing you next time at Defining Moments. You take care of yourself. Happy holidays.